Have you ever walked through a season where it felt like the world had forgotten your name? A season where doors stayed shut, prayers seemed to echo back in silence, and even your own heart whispered, "Lord, where are you?" What if I told you that this silence is not abandonment, but craftsmanship? That the hidden places you fear are often the very workshops where God prepares his chosen ones? Today, we're going to uncover why God sometimes hides you, why he allows you to be unseen, unheard, and overlooked, and why this silent season may be the clearest sign that your calling is closer than you think. In this message, I want to help you understand a truth many believers overlook. God often prepares his greatest servants in hidden places. When you feel unseen, it is not a punishment. When doors don't open, it is not rejection. When heaven feels silent, it is not distance. These are signs that God is shaping you away from the noise, away from the applause, away from the expectations of others. Throughout this video, we will walk through the spiritual purpose behind this hidden season. Why God shields you, why he slows you down, why he isolates you, and why he refines you in private before revealing you in public. Each point will be grounded in Scripture, practical wisdom, and encouragement for your soul. By the end, you will not only understand this season, you will see its beauty. There are seasons when God hides you because the place you are praying for is not yet safe for the person you are becoming. You may look at closed doors and think they reflect your worth, but in reality, they often reflect God's mercy. Just as a seed must remain underground before it faces the wind, you too are protected in darkness, so that you will not be destroyed by exposure too soon. Scripture tells us, "You are my hiding place. You will protect me from trouble." Psalm 32:7. Notice, God is not just a refuge you run to. He sometimes becomes the one who hides you, not to imprison you, but to preserve you. Think of Joseph. Before he ever stood in Pharaoh's courts, he was hidden in a pit and then in a prison, places that looked like rejection, but were actually divine protection. God kept him away from people who would have mishandled his destiny. If you feel overlooked, remember this. Being hidden is not the end of your story. It is the shield around your calling. There are times when God conceals you not from opportunities, but from premature elevation. You may feel ready, you may feel qualified, but God sees deeper than your resume. He sees the roots beneath your actions, the motives behind your prayers, the quiet cracks in your foundation that only intimacy with him can repair. Hidden seasons are the workshops where character is forged. Scripture says, "Humble yourselves under the mighty hand of God, that he may lift you up in due time." 1 Peter 5-6. Due time implies preparation. A lifting that happens too soon becomes a burden, not a blessing. Consider David. Long before he held a crown, he held a harp. Long before he led a kingdom, he tended sheep in solitude. His courage against Goliath was not born in the spotlight, but in secret places, where he fought lions and bears with no audience but God. When God hides you, he is chiseling pride, refining patience, strengthening discipline, and teaching you obedience. Not to diminish you, but to deepen you. Because when your character is strong, your calling can stand tall. One of the quiet purposes of a hidden season is this: God gently removes the noise of people so you can hear the clarity of his voice. When you feel unseen, it's easy to believe something is wrong with you. But often, God is silencing the crowd to free you from the addiction to their approval. He is teaching you to live for his well done, not their applause. Scripture reminds us, "The fear of man lays a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is safe." Proverbs 29-25. Chasing affirmation traps your soul. Trusting God anchors it. Hiddenness breaks the snare. Think of Jeremiah. His messages were rejected, his calling misunderstood, his motives questioned. Friends abandoned him, and the nation mocked him. Yet in those lonely places, he learned a deeper truth. His identity was rooted in the one who called him. not in the opinions of those who opposed him. When God hides you from recognition, he is healing you from dependence on validation. He is teaching you what it means to stand alone with him and still stand strong. Sometimes God hides you because the stage you are called to step onto is not yet built. The people you are meant to influence are not yet ready, or the circumstances that will elevate you are still in motion behind the scenes. What feels like delay is often divine synchronization, God aligning your life with the exact moment when your calling will have its greatest impact. Scripture declares, "He has made everything beautiful in its time," Ecclesiastes 3:11. Not in your time, not in the time others think it should happen. In its time, the moment God appoints, designs, and perfects. Joseph's release from prison did not happen when he hoped. It happened at the appointed time, when Pharaoh needed a dream interpreted. Esther did not rise to her position by chance. She arrived for such a time as this. Timing was the invisible thread connecting their preparation to their purpose. If you feel delayed, remember, God is not denying you. He is positioning you. The moment he has prepared for you is already forming, and when it arrives, no force on earth can stop it. In every hidden season, God is not just shaping your future, he is drawing your heart closer to his. When distractions fall away, when familiar voices grow quiet, when your usual sources of comfort no longer satisfy, you begin to hear the whisper beneath the silence. That whisper is God inviting you into deeper communion, deeper trust, deeper surrender. Hiddenness becomes holy ground. Scripture says, "Be still and know that I am God," Psalm 46:10. Notice that knowing comes after stillness. When life slows down, when opportunities pause, when you can no longer outrun your worries or hide behind busyness, that is when God reveals himself most tenderly. Think of Moses. Before he ever confronted Pharaoh, he spent 40 years in the quiet of the wilderness. Away from the noise of Egypt, he learned the sound of God's voice from a burning bush. The wilderness was not a detour. It was the classroom where intimacy was born. Your hidden season is not a spiritual drought. It is an invitation to lean in, to listen deeper, to rediscover the God who meets his children in the quiet. There is a reason God trains his strongest warriors in secret places. The battles ahead of you, the weight of the calling on your life, the responsibility tied to your purpose, all of it requires endurance that cannot be built in comfort. Hidden seasons teach you how to stand when no one is watching, how to pray when you feel nothing, how to worship without a platform, and how to remain faithful even when the path is unclear. Scripture encourages us. Let endurance have its perfect work, so that you may be perfect and complete, lacking nothing. James 1-4. Endurance does not grow in applause. It grows in silence, in waiting, in choosing faith, even when your emotions resist it. Before David ever faced Goliath, he faced isolation. Before Elijah ever called down fire from heaven, he faced despair under a broom tree. Before Jesus ever stepped into public ministry, he endured 40 days in the wilderness. Endurance was not optional. It was essential. If you feel stretched, tired, or tested, remember this. Your hidden season is building the spiritual stamina you will need for the doors God is about to open. There are truths God can only reveal to you when the room is empty, when the noise fades, and when your heart is stripped of every false source of strength. Isolation is not always the enemy. Sometimes it is the incubator of revelation. God often whispers the deepest instructions, the most specific directions, and the most personal confirmations in seasons where you feel set apart. Not because you are unworthy, but because you are chosen. Scripture reveals this pattern again and again. The Lord spoke to Moses face to face, as one speaks to a friend, Exodus 33-11. Where did those conversations happen? Not in the camp, not in the crowd, but in the tent of meeting, a place removed, quiet, sacred. Revelation required separation. Elijah heard God not in the wind, not in the earthquake, not in the fire, but in a still small voice, 1 Kings 19:12. That voice did not meet him in the chaos. It met him in the cave, a lonely place, yet filled with divine clarity. If God has pulled you away from certain people, environments, or patterns, it may be because he wants to speak something to you that can only be heard in solitude.